So here's the thing. I have a amazing plan to save India's economy. And by save, I mean we can really quite easily increase the size of our national GDP by over 10%. And all we have to do, I'm saying all we have to do is focus on arts. It's very easy to underestimate the role of art in our society, especially from the financial sense. Because you see, we do use, everything like music, dance, anything cultural is something we consume daily. It's what makes us human. But here's the thing. As India, which we call culturally rich, we are not using it to its full potential. So we say, okay, you know what, we have a great history in maths, we have a great history in science, our IT is great and we export all of that. But how about exporting culture? And you're like, wait, our guys do go abroad and do concerts and stuff, right? We hear about musicians going abroad. Our actors are sometimes in, American films, like Priyanka Chopra is in Quantico, which is, I don't know if I should have brought that up. It's kind of sad. But anyway, I'm just saying we do have certain cultural exports, but that's not what I'm talking about. So here's food for thought. India's services industry, like 57% of India's economy is worth some $530 billion, which is a lot of fucking money. But get this, America's entertainment industry, just its film, music, and all of that bundled together is worth 730 billion. Imagine that. Just their entertainment is worth more than half of our country's economy. And how does this happen? America's biggest export is actually cultural. And guess what? It is super cheap to ship out as well. Needs no shipping, so to speak. Just a good internet connection and, a computer, I guess. But think about it. If India started exporting its culture, what I mean to say is if we could actually make our cultural package in such a way that it became valuable, we could earn tons of money. Let me give you some context. What do I mean by this very strange ass statement? Say Avengers Endgame made almost $2 billion, right, in total. To give you context how big that number is, all of India's film industry put together makes just about that much, a little more. And that's just one film. Now, imagine if we could do the same. Imagine if we started creating and focusing on art and films and music in such a way that they were marketable and we could actually sell them abroad, that the world got into it. But we cannot do this by just harping, by saying that, India's past content or our past history. Man, we cannot sell the old stuff over and over again. If India has to make a cultural future and we want to make cultural exports, we have to invest in art. We have to get more music. We have to get more different music. We have to get more different kinds of movies going. We need to get art needs investment too, just like any other field, like whether it is science. You can't be like, hey man, you know what? We should have great science and technology and great IT and not invest in IT. This is the same way with artistic endeavors as well. And I think this is one place where, we have not really got our, wrapped our heads around this concept. Especially in India, because guess what? We do have the talent, we do have the people who can make it happen. So where are we lacking? Simply by not understanding the level and the kind of investment we can do. Imagine if we were able to package our films in such a way or our music in such a way that it became a global export. Man, just overnight we will grow by more than 10%. Like the impact on economy will be huge. More often than not, when we talk about finance and growing an economy, we only think of like infrastructure, ships, bridges, roads, roads, bridges, trains, things like that. But we have to understand that we are literally sitting on a gold mine if you only knew how to exploit it. Thing is, we really have to get into this cultural export game. And you're like, okay, so USA dominates. Who else is in the game? Guess what, guys? China is catching up fast. So here's the thing. China is not only going to dominate the manufacturing landscape. If you're not smart and fast, they'll take over the cultural game as well. The thing is, China already contributes a lot in terms of like the global revenue when it comes to films and video games. And guess what? Their video game industry is catching up really big. By the way, the video game industry is worth $130 billion today and is going to become bigger than film and TV. And we are not in this space at all as India. We really need to get into it. We need to invest in modern art and culture. China, in the meanwhile, is now entering this space and already become one of the global players. So what should India do? Well, what we need are incubation centers, research centers for art. And what I mean by this is we need our brightest, our most artistic to hang out together, to create new art, to be able to explore fields of film and take it ahead even technologically. Films is not just artistic, films need technology. We need high-end things. That's how Disney is half a technology company. Pixar is a technology company and they do animation and they're so far ahead. So we need the smartest and the most artistic to sit together to be able to create cultural exports. But then what's the hiccup? So, of course, Indians are weirded out, especially Indian parents are totally weirded out by art careers. We discussed this and so much more in our podcast right here. Also, do comment and let me know if you liked my plan of increasing India's GDP and if that should be national policy. Comment, like, subscribe, new content out every week.